All right, we're live. Here we go. So, hello everybody. It's your brother Larry Ortega coming to you from LAO Studios in Pomona, California with this week's Community Technology Report. I want to talk to you today about computer training, but not just any kind of computer training. What I'm talking to you about is computer training that stretches your child's vision, a course that builds the intellectual capacity, that challenges your child and allows for an imagination outlet that is rarely seen in these days. I've been doing computer training for more than 30 years and have seen and written about a lot of success stories. Writing about these success stories is my favorite part of the work that I do. As I get into this story, I will attempt to answer the question, why should your child be enrolled in after-school computer training program? Stretching your child's imagination, building the intellectual capacity by solving real-life problems while simultaneously introducing themselves to technology tools that they will use for the rest of their lives. At the end of this video, you're going to find some links where you can get more information about how you can plug your child and maybe yourself into computer training programs here at Community Union. So let's get started. As you listen into the impact of the computer training courses, you will be very impressed, I promise. Beyond the actual technical skills obtained in computer training program, the children here learned critical life skills through the practical application of problem solving via small group interaction, as Desiree shares here in this ABC7 TV clip taken in 1999. So check this out right here.
If we didn't work together, we wouldn't be able to develop the comic book.
See, what our comic book project did was introduce the latest in technology issues to children using tools that would have lifelong value in their future academic and professional careers. A vehicle of expression of ideas and cooperation between the children was created by having this common goal of solving real-life problems. And it made it interesting, more than anything else. So, quick note on Desiree, she went on to graduate from UCLA in social work, and the last time that I ran into her was about 8 years ago. She was working with a group called Ultimos, and she was helping disadvantaged families out in East LA. Our next story brings us to Tanya. Tanya shares that this after-school program introduced her to computers, and she just became hooked after that. She subsequently enrolled over at Cal Poly and then became one of our trainers. She was out in Whittier training other folks on how to use the Microsoft Office suite, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Check it out, right here.
Tanya Gomez is one of over 2,500 students who graduated from the program and has continued her studies at Cal Poly Pomona.
I just became really attached to computers after that.
So now it brings us to David, right? So since the time that David was a kid in elementary school, when he was in our classes at about 12 years old, we knew he was going to be successful. He always carried this demeanor of success, even as a 12-year-old child. So check out David's clip.
I've been doing this a lot because I get to express my ideas and my drawings and everything that I come up with for Y2K.
So I ran into David, right? 20 years later after him taking this program. I actually ran into his sister first, and then I ran into his brother, and then we started talking about David and David and David. And he was sitting right there. I didn't recognize him. Cat had a beard. He's, of course, an adult now. And I was like, wow, how cool it is to see you again, man. And so I told him I was starting this project about where they are now, like what kind of impact the programs that these kids have participated in. And 20 years later, like, what are they doing? And David's like, yeah, man, I'm down. And so we have David here in the studio today. So David, welcome to our studios here in Pomona, California. We really appreciate you being here, sharing your story, but let's get right into it, man. Can you please tell the folks that are watching how we met and what the impact of the after-school computer training program had on your life?
As a child, I attended the Baldwin Park Community Center, and there I took classes, computer training classes, where I was able to explore technology. One of the main reasons why I liked the computer class had to do with the fact that it was providing a service and it was providing an outlet, an educational outlet that schools at the time in my area were not. The class at the community center really was able to bring about this sense of adventure and sense of encouragement to myself, because it challenged me in ways that the current school system did not. Where else at the time did you get a bunch of kids together and say, hey, let's make a comic book? Saying, hey, let's all get together. Here's this fantasy world that I want you guys to create. Now narrate it, make characters so that we could share it with the world. Eventually got into high school. I remember that there was usually two types of students in the classroom. Individuals like myself that we knew how to use technology. We knew how to use Microsoft PowerPoint. So that skill in and of itself, I wouldn't have been able to not only learn but refine if it wasn't for that class. To this day, even in my adulthood, if I need to train, it's going to be good, and it's going to be something that is honestly second nature to me because of that early educational impact that I had. Once you learn it that one time and you get good at it, you don't forget it. For that class and that introduction, I am very grateful.
Wow, man, so you're doing like really good stuff, man. Tell me, what are you doing now, and how did the training that you received back then affect you to like what you're doing right now?
Still pursuing a career in technology, and namely educational technology. If I wouldn't have been challenged, or at least shown this pathway, shown this new experience in terms of a career path, to be able to do something that not only interested me but could also be used to educate others, I would be a much very different person right now.
Cool, David, very cool. So what's been the most like memorable career experience thus far in your life?
I wanted to share a story of when I was originally hired with the city of Baldwin Park. I was hired as a computer specialist. One of my objectives there as a computer specialist was to reignite the passion or the curiosity for a lot of the patrons that we had there. It says, well, I'd like you to help us with the design. And I said, really? He says, yeah, you've been a great help to us, since you got hired, and so now I need you to help us redesign this lab. So I did. Then I submitted all of these ideas, and yeah, I mean, they did it. They reconstructed the lab exactly as I envisioned it. Now it was the community center lab, but it was also my lab. The lab is still there, still functioning, still using a lot of the applications that I originally introduced.
Dude, that is so awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that story. I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of people watching this today. What are your thoughts on the current social media craze? Everyone is into it these days, and particularly our youth. What are you thinking about? How do you feel about that?
Just social media seems like a lot of noise. It seems just like a lot of information that is really superfluous to me that I don't need. It's not to say that I'm against socializing. That's not it at all. I do like talking with people, but I like still the first person experience. And I mean, a lot of social media nowadays, I mean, it's more focused on profitability, and it's very rare that it's for the greater good.
Yeah, David, I'm in agreement with you on a lot of those things, privacy and, people getting into your business, and like, what's the purpose of it? Just to make these, cats that run the social media stuff, all this money. So thanks a lot, David. We really appreciate you being here, man, and sharing some of these thoughts. And I wanted to ask you, do you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share with folks that are actually watching this clip?
I would say to my younger self and to anyone, along that age, is that never use the fact that you don't know something as an excuse not to do it. If you don't know something, don't let it stop you from not only learning it, but from preventing you from doing other things. If you need a particular skill to get to where you want to be, then get it, acquire it. You can open up a web page, you can click on the search button and type in how I do, etc. Something will pop up. A wiki will pop up. A YouTube page will pop up. And at least now you know what you can do to get started. Never limit yourself over the skills that you don't know. Because if you really want it, if you really want that objective, you're going to learn those skills, and now nothing can stop you. You know, again, I just wanted to say this publicly. I mean, thank you, Larry, for reaching out and you know, allowing me to express myself over this and over the years that I've lived and how this has impacted me. But back then, this program provided a service. It provided that intellectual and imagination outlet that just there doesn't seem to be a lot of these days. What can we do? What can we teach kids right now that is not only going to spark their curiosity, but help them become better people? Why not? Let's just do it.
There is obviously big time benefit to youth being enrolled in something that will stretch their imagination and challenge them so that they may build their intellectual capacity, as you were sharing, you know, your words, right? You so wonderfully articulated the impacts. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next 20. Well, hopefully it don't take that long, right? Gracias, brother. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. So thank you all very much for watching. It's time for us to get on this thing and begin maximizing the existing resources all around us. Schools are equipped with tens of thousands of dollars in technology that's connected to millions of dollars in resources that literally sit in our barrios idle for most of the time. There are models like this program that have positively impacted kids like David, Desiree, Tanya, and thousands of other children. Let's get this done. Let's make this happen, like David was saying. If you'd like more information on how we can train you or your child, just click on the website right here, right? We do trainings for children, one-on-one, in small groups, or in entire classes. We can come to you, or you can come to our offices here in Pomona. For more information, click on this link. And oh yeah, be sure to subscribe, okay? So you can keep up on our technology reports and other pearls that we have gained in our 35-year experiment of training children and parents in technology. So yeah, click here, or right here, right? See you next time. Take care and have a wonderful day.